Hello, I'm Keith, and this is my dad, Kerwin. Welcome back to the crime-solving duo, father and son, a Star Wars podcast.
The time, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. The place, Coruscant.
Well, wait a second. Why is that black and white filter still on? Just a second. Oh, that's so much better. It's not black and white anymore.
All right, well, thank you. The time, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. The place, Coruscant. The event, the destruction of the Jedi Temple. We are going to discuss the last 4 episodes of season 5, where Ahsoka Tano walked away from the Jedi Order. Did the Jedi fail Ahsoka Tano? That's what we're going to find out. Let's talk about it, Keith.
Anakin and Ahsoka are suddenly called back from a mission to investigate the destruction of the Jedi Temple. With the help of a droid named Russo, they're able to get a lead suspect, Jakar Bomani. He's a worker at the temple who was in the same area where the explosion was.
Can I stop you right there and talk about the names of the episodes? All right. So we have the episode called Sabotage, the Jedi who knew too much to catch a Jedi, and the wrong Jedi. Those names are actually based
off
on
of Alfred Hitchcock films.
Alfred Hitchcock films, right? So Sabotage, the man who knew too much to catch a thief, and the wrong man.
There was a chapter in that book, Holiday Inn, called The Cat Who Knew Too Much.
Oh, really? Okay, that's pretty cool. Right. So you see the correlation. So I like to pick up, these references to other films that I see in the Star Wars series. So please continue.
So they found traces of nanotechnology, like literally. So here is the crazy part. Jakar had apparently eaten the nanodroids? Question mark? They began to investigate who gave them to him, and they trace it back to someone named Letta Turner. Of course, she tries to escape like any petty thief would, or criminal. And like with the classic model, she gets captured. So Ahsoka gets requested to talk to Letta, but when Ahsoka goes in, somebody takes her out. The only thing she was able to find out was that a Jedi helped program the droids. So they're left with just one clip. But then, Ahsoka finds out she's been caught on security tape and been framed for what happened to Letta. So she ends up basically on a run, trying to get away from these clips.
Can we stop there and talk about Letta? So Letta was in a cell. Ahsoka came in to talk to her about what happened, and then all of a sudden, Letta couldn't breathe as if she was being force choked. Is that correct?
Yep.
Right. And if looking at it on a security camera, it actually looks like Ahsoka is the one who's actually doing the force choking because she has her hands up, and I think she has her hands up because she's wondering, well, what's going on? What can I do? How can I help?
But let me see this picture.
Right, but by the way it's being by the way it's being shown on the camera, it looks like she was the one that committed the crime.
Apparently so. So, Ahsoka doesn't know who to trust. I mean, Anakin is trying to help her, but she doesn't know if he really does want to. But she eventually escapes. And meanwhile, the council calls a meeting. They send out Master Plo Koon along with Anakin to split up and find Ahsoka. But Ahsoka is also running through Coruscant. She borrowed a cloak from someone, but she's found by the Coruscant police. She escapes again, but happens to run into Asajj Ventress.
Mm-hmm.
They form a shaky partnership. Ventress won't turn her in for a bounty, and Ahsoka will get a full pardon for her crimes eventually. Ahsoka talks to Barriss Offee, who's inside the temple doing research on the entire bombing. She tells Ahsoka that there's a nanodroid facility on level 1315. Leto went there to get the nanodroids. Ventress leaves, but Ahsoka runs into some more clone troopers at the facility, along with a mysterious figure dressed as Ventress. She ends up being caught at the nanodroids facility, and the Jedi take her in.
Okay, all right. Let's step back here. So first of all, when Ahsoka was in this prison with Letty, and right, and Ahsoka was arrested for the crime. Ahsoka was in prison, but she was able to get out of prison. Who allowed her to escape from prison? Do you think it was Anakin?
Most definitely.
Most definitely. Okay, right.
The only person who really wanted to help him and probably Plo Koon, because they both know Ahsoka.
Okay. All right. Well, someone managed to get her out, right? They opened up the cell doors. Well, they gave her the key actually to let herself out of prison, and the guards surrounding her were knocked out. So it was very easy for her to just walk away, which is interesting. But, for one thing, if you're running away from a crime, that makes you look more guilty. But I can understand she's trying to figure out, okay, she was framed and she's trying to find out who set her up. And that reminds me of another movie. Back in 1993, there was this movie called The Fugitive, starring Harrison Ford, who was actually committed for a crime, who was accused of a crime that he didn't commit. He was on the run. And there was a scene actually in the episode, the Clone Wars episode, where Anakin is chasing Ahsoka through a tunnel. And that tunnel scene reminded me of the tunnel scene when Tommy Lee Jones, who is the U.S. Marshal, is chasing the fugitive Harrison Ford in the tunnel. So I thought that was, very cool, that they reminisced that scene from The Fugitive. It was a very, very great, it was a great movie. It was a hit movie back in the 90s. So yes,
it's
wonderful. Mm-hmm.
But back to Ahsoka. Mm-hmm. She gets charged with sedition against the Republic, and she ends up getting banned from the Jedi Order, which is...
Okay. Yeah, I want to talk about this. So, first of all, now when the Jedi was told about what might have happened or what Ahsoka is being accused of, they didn't seem to... they weren't thinking, okay, well, I don't think she's capable of doing something like this. It was more towards, well, it's possible that she could have done this, and we need to know why. Now, they made the decision to actually put her on trial, right? Because they wanted to have their own trial first before the Republic got to them, and make their own decision whether they think that she is guilty of this crime and that she would be removed from the Jedi Order. Now, they were making this decision not because they wanted to get to the bottom of this crime, who actually, took out these Jedi in the temple, because, we didn't say that in the temple, in the destruction, 6 Jedi lost their lives, right? It's not as if they were trying to come to some type of conclusion as to what happened, who did it. Yeah, to me, it was a political decision because they just wanted Ahsoka to, stand for their crime, stand for the crime that she committed.
Which she really didn't.
Right. And
they have no evidence.
Right. They had no
They just have one flimsy recording tape, which can basically mean anything.
Mm-hmm. So to me, the decision was more political than it was actually trying to figure out exactly what happened.
The trial was really showy.
Because the Republic was putting pressure on the Jedi, right, to remove her from the Jedi Order.
And technically, the Republic doesn't own the Jedi. The Jedi work with them, not for them.
That's true, right. But I think the Jedi gave in to the Republic because they didn't want the Republic to, get the Republic upset or feel that they're against the Republic. So to me, their decision to try to, put her on trial and figure out whether she committed the crime or not is irrelevant. They had the decision already made up. Now, let's talk about the scene where this interrogation scene is taking place. So she's on this platform, right? And this platform is in the center, and the Jedi are surrounding her and they're looking above her as if in a condescending way, like they're trying to intimidate her and disrespect her. And you can hear their voices, they're
echoing.
They're echoing, and they're trying to use a scare tactic to try her to what? To say, oh, I did something that I didn't, commit. I committed a crime that I really didn't commit.
Let me see this case photo.
Yeah. So so they already had their mind made up. The Jedi had their mind made up, and they already decided that they were going to make sure that she left the Jedi Order.
Padawan Tano, serious charges have been levied against you. How plead you?
Not guilty, Master.
You're right. This photo shows the exact thing.
Okay.
And it's weird because they need more evidence to just kick her out completely. You can't base an entire thing off of one person.
Okay.
And also notice that this is a point Padme brought up. Letta said she was afraid to tell Ahsoka. Why would she request the very person that was in cahoots with her? Right? There'd be no reason. They're just done with it.
Gotcha. All right, so let's talk about what happened. So now the Jedi make the decision to let her go. She's no longer part of the Jedi Order. They took her bead away.
They literally ripped it off her head.
Yeah, how about that? More disrespect to Ahsoka. And now Ahsoka is now standing trial with the Republic. So now it's the Republic that is trying her for this case, right? And Padme is representing Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Okay. In the meantime, what is Anakin doing? I think he's trying to find out who the actual criminal is.
Yep. So he went back to Coruscant to look for Ventress, who said that somebody had snuck up on her and taken her cloak and mask to pretend that they were Ventress. So Anakin goes back to the temple to talk to Barriss, hoping that she knew something. And what he did was a test. He pulled out a lightsaber and it basically swung it at Barriss. And what she did was block with 2 red lightsabers, Ventress's.
Interesting. So this is a Jedi with 2 red lightsabers.
Yep.
What is a Jedi doing with 2 red lightsabers?
Well, she's the one that took Ventress's stuff and snuck up on Ahsoka, got her captured, and was working with Letta all along.
So it was Barriss Offee was the one that was responsible for the destruction of the Jedi Temple.
Yep. So in the end, all the Jedi asked her to come back. And at this point, I'm just like, why does Mace Windu say this was your big test?
Yes.
It wasn't a test. You kicked her out.
Right. Before we get there, though, we're still in trial, right? And they're about to make a decision. The verdict is about to be given. Anakin walks in with Barriss Offee and says, "Hold it. Here's your real criminal," right? Do you remember what Barriss Offee said to the Jedi? Why she committed the crime?
Something about how the Jedi used to be peacekeepers and they've lost their way and became warmongers.
That is a very telling point, right?
Which makes absolutely no sense. It's really the Republic's fault anyway.
Well, I find that some people do blame the Jedi. Let's step back. Now, granted, the Jedi was actually forced into becoming a part of the Clone Wars, because the Chancellor wanted them as generals of the army. But some people didn't look at it that way. Some people looked at the Jedi siding with the Republic. We're supposed to be peacekeepers. Why are we promoting this war? And that was the stand that Barriss Offee was taking, unfortunately, and she decided to take the war into her own hands. And she was responsible for losing the lives of some people, which is never good at all. So we now know who the real perpetrator of the crime is. Barriss Offee gets taken away, and now we return back to Ahsoka, and she's speaking in front of the Jedi Council. And what does Mace Windu say to her?
He's like, "This was your big test."
A test, right? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's first rate covering your mistakes.
In other words, you did good. We just wanted to intimidate you, see what you're going to say.
Yeah, so we were
believed you all along. We know you didn't commit that crime.
So they were basically like, we staged this trial to make you think we were serious. Then we took the beads as a joke. Then we hunted you down with clone troopers and Jedi Masters, hoping that we would find you and tell you that this was all your big moment to shine.
Yeah.
We put you in a jail cell, hoping that you would figure it out.
Yeah. It was
not a likely story.
Very unlikely. They were trying to cover their tracks. They know they made a mistake. They're asking for her to come back, And what did she say?
No, and I can't blame her. Yeah. I'd be like, absolutely not. You kicked me out. You took my beads in front of these people.
Right.
You locked me in a jail cell. You said clothes to hunt me down. Then you put me in 2 trials that were very condescending. Why am I coming back to you?
Right. Where's the trust? Right? There was no trust between Ahsoka and the Jedi Order. So why would she want to come back to people that didn't trust her and she didn't trust them?
It's like the Jedi seem baseless in the Republic. But as soon as one does something bad with even a wisp of evidence, you automatically whisk them away into a jail cell and leave them there.
Right. And poor Anakin, he loses a Padawan.
He couldn't do anything.
Right. There was nothing he can do or say to change her mind. She had her mind made up that she was ready to walk away and she needed to lead her own life. Right. So going back to our question, did the Jedi fail Ahsoka Tano? I guess the answer is yes, they did. They didn't have her back,
They absolutely failed.
No, they did not. And, the decision that they made to take her off for the council was just a political decision. It really had nothing to do with actually solving the crime.
They probably had a camera in there somewhere and then just posted it to the HoloNet as a political drama.
Right. And then you can tell now that, the steps that the Jedi are taking, the decisions that they're making now is just the start of the downfall of the Jedi Order. And we know what happened at the end of the Jedi. But, it's just the decisions that they made were probably not in the best interests of the council. And they apparently, they suffered for it, unfortunately. They became extinct at some point later on down the line. So this is a very good 4 episodes, very intense. Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, not really.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I believe this is a very well done episode. And again, I like the recalling of the Hitchcock films and The Fugitive in the episode. So I enjoyed it very much. All right. Well, then that is our episode, of Ahsoka Tano. Now, there are a lot of events in Ahsoka Tano's life that took place, right? This is just one. So I'm sure that we'll come back and we'll talk about other events that Ahsoka was a part of, because she's a very beloved character. She is your favorite character, Yeah. And, we'll be talking more about Ahsoka in the future.
Yep.
All right. Where can people find us, Keith?
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, Amazon Music, Audible, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right. And we have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe. If you know anyone who is a fan of Star Wars, send them to our channel. We also have a Twitter page and we also have Instagram. So like us we also have Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
And then like us on Facebook.
All right.
And be sure to give our website a little checkout at FatherSonGalaxy.com.
A little checkout. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. Now, thank you so much for joining this episode. Take care, and we will see you again.
Bye.